what should people be doing to get a job quicker once they have the skills?
So tactic wise, I think one of the easiest ways to, to make the job hunt faster is to look in the places that other people aren't looking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, it seems obvious when you say it, but I don't know how many people I've talked to. They're like, oh, I can't get a job. I'm like, okay, where have you applied to? And it's Google, Amazon, Apple, Netflix. It's like, okay, I couldn't get a job there.
Yeah.
Nobody can get a job there. So one of my favorite things to do is say, look at the Fortune 500 companies, go about 150 down. So those are the companies you've probably never heard of, but they're still like 15,000 employees.
Yep.
So for example, Dr. Horton's, which is like an apothecary pharmacy in New York, they had a mandate last year to hire like 250 software engineers.
Interesting.
And people don't apply to Dr. Horton's,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like
Is that the lip balm or something else?
It's like a Walgreens,
Oh, okay.
basically.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the number one thing that I would recommend. Normally, if there's somebody who is having a hard time getting a job, either A, they can't program well enough, which happens.
Yep.
B, they are not sending out enough applications. I talk to people sometimes like, I can't get a job. Where have you applied to? Oh, these 3 places. And it's a numbers game to some degree. Then the third thing is like, where are you looking?
Yeah.
Obviously, there are elements of what does your portfolio look like, and at a certain point in Lambda School, we talk about moving from substance to presentation.
Yep.
And you need to not only be a solid software engineer, but people need to not have to question if you're a solid software engineer.
Yeah.
So they need to look at your resume, look at your portfolio, and say, yeah, this guy, bring him in.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And given that Lambda is relatively new, what are some things that people don't know about Lambda that they should know about Lambda? And what are some things that you've wanted to share about Lambda that you've never shared about Lambda that you could get exclusively dropped on the Breaking Shots podcast?
Exclusively. Let's see.
You heard it here first.
I think people don't realize how closely we work with industry partners to create our curriculum and to build what we're teaching. So people come in thinking that it's either an accident or something that we just dreamed up at night, but it's really driven specifically to get you a job. We know what it takes to get you a job, and we know what you have to do to get there. Another is they underestimate the importance that career coaching plays.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, yeah, you know how to code, go get a job. And it can be one little thing that's off.
Yep.
And that's enough to blow hundreds of applications. So I think that Lambda Next and the coaching element is really important. And we honestly spend almost as much now helping you get a job after you graduate than actually training you in the program. We spend a lot of money training you in the program, to be clear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just a different approach that you take as a school that's free up front.
Got it.
For sure. And we have a lot of followers, a lot of listeners who are interested in tech. Some of them have hesitations, but they're super eager to be part of tech. And so if you were speaking or giving advice to someone who is maybe in their 20s or 30s who knows about tech, maybe they're considering learning to code or another profession, what advice would you give to them? What actions would you recommend for them to take to position them to first learn about the tech ecosystem, and then second of all, actually put themselves on a path to get a job?
Yeah, I think the first thing I would say is don't be intimidated, right? It's easy to be intimidated when you read some guy's blog post who's been writing code for 25 years, and he's like, you won't be able to code for 15 years or something like that. And you can contribute pretty quickly, and it's hard, right? Don't get me wrong, it's hard, but it's not rocket science. So I think the thing that most people regret is just not getting in fast enough and not starting now. And I talk to people all the time that had the idea 5 years ago, I'd really like to program, and 5 years later here they are and nothing's changed. So I would go to Lambda School, take one of our free intro courses. It costs absolutely nothing. There's no deposit, there's no fee afterwards. It's completely free. Test it out. We start from the very basics of, if you know how to turn a computer on, you're good enough. We'll teach you how to open up a text editor and start writing your first lines of code, and see if you can catch the bug. That's what I recommend.
Awesome.